Okay, 6:19. Sam, what we got, Sam? As I said, no newspapers here. What about? I'm pretty certain it's all about last night, Bramall Lane. What else have we got in terms of EFL starting, the Premiership, Manchester United, Ronaldo?
Yeah, Ronaldo is on the back pages again. I mean, you mentioned there the Lionesses out. It's back and front pages as well. I'll just do some of the headlines on that if I can, because there's some brilliant pictures all across today's papers. Head over heels is the headline, back of the Mail. Russo's cheeky wonder goal has England roaring into the final. Meanwhile, inside the Mail, England one step from immortality is the headline. Elsewhere, back of the Times, roaring to Wembley is the headline. If I go to the Mirror, Heaven and Hill is their back page. Russo's cheeky back heel was a highlight as Rawsome Lionesses destroy Swedes to soar into Wembley final. And Telegraph Sport, the pride of England is the headline. Brilliant Lionesses turn on the style to roar into Wembley final. Al, a question for you.
Yeah.
It's been an amazing tournament. Loads of young fans are being inspired by the Lionesses. I know you've got some young granddaughters, don't you? Just wondering, watching this tournament, seeing it capture the imagination of the British public, would this sort of inspire you to try and get your granddaughters into football at a young age?
Well, they do. They play now. They do everything at that age. You know, they're only young, 9, 7 and 4. But they're into cheerleading, they do everything, swimming, football, you know, so they'd have been glued to it last night, especially the older one. So without a doubt, and as I said yesterday, I've got family over, my wife's family are over from, where is it now? I forget what state, but they're at Tahoe, Lake Tahoe around there, and they said there's so many young girls now playing soccer, as they call it in the States. It's fantastic.
Well, it's not just States, in England. I mean, my daughter used to play, and when you go over to watch her, so many girls are playing there. So
it's great. It's got to be great. Because look,
and do you know what? The quality was really good last night. I thought it was an excellent game.
It was.
The way they moved the ball and the skill was fantastic. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. No. It was. There's no doubt it's come a long, long way, and I just hope England now can go on in the final, and whether it be Germany or France, Germany would be the big one, I suppose, and they'd be the favourites.
Yeah.
But you know, if they were to win it at Wembley in front of a full house, you know, what a boost that would be for ladies football and kids, you know, football. It'd be fantastic.
You mentioned Cristiano Ronaldo. He's also once again this morning, weeks now, it's been on the back pages. I'll read this, back of the Mirror from Jeremy Cross. He says Man United and Sir Alex Ferguson are losing the fight to talk Ronaldo into staying. Fergie attended a board meeting at Carrington yesterday and is understood to have spoken to Ronaldo about his future. United chiefs had hoped that Fergie, who was instrumental in bringing Ronaldo back to the club last summer, could persuade him to see out the remaining 12 months of
Sam,
his deal.
I'd love to know what the big problem with Ronaldo is.
I think he wants to play Champions League football now.
Well, and score more goals and you know and break the record. Is that what it's all about?
Well, keep the record. Money. He's leading already, but he wants to.
Messi's 15 behind.
He wants to get to a goal scoring rate that no one's ever going to get.
But we still don't know the whole reason, do we? Is he falling out? Does he feel that the side is not going the right way? He wants to go out with a bang. He wants to go out with winning something. And he feels maybe Manchester United can't do that. But we still don't know the principal reason why he's had enough. That's it, tools down, I'm off.
Do you boys think, if he doesn't get the move, let's say, come the start of the season when the window closes, do you think he'll be disruptive, or do you think he'll just kick on and score goals, Ray?
He's not that sort of person.
Too much of a professional.
Yeah, he's too much professional. He will get on with it and he'll try and score every single week, as he has done since he played in the Manchester United shirt. So I don't think that'd be a problem.
Ray, do you think he'll go into management? Coaching and management, do you think it's so much part of his life that he can't do without
possibly, it? Yeah, I think that, with his desire and how he goes into games and how he looks after himself, he's just football mad, isn't he? He seems like he's just really into it. Now, look, we all know he's got a good family there and as well, so it's his decision. If he wants to go into management now, I'm sure he's going to start at the top. We've seen some great players go into management and do well, Zidane and people like that, so... Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what he does at the end of his career.
So Sam, I was talking to a big bloodstock agent yesterday who's a massive Chelsea fan. He lives right next to the bridge. and he was a little bit doom and gloom the way things are going on at the Bridge at the moment. Anything about Chelsea in the papers
do you know what?
today?
There actually is. I'll read this to you boys from the Daily Mail by Adrian Kajumba. Big story this. He writes that Chelsea will consider letting Timo Werner leave in this window, but want to bring in another striker first. With Newcastle among the clubs on the Germany forwards list, Werner has spoken openly on the club pre-season tour about his desire to play more ahead of a World Cup. And the Mail say this morning, boys, that Newcastle could be the team that will try and sign Werner this summer. Two questions really for you on this, Ray. Do you think Chelsea should maybe say you've had 2 years, hadn't scored goals, and move him on? And would he be a good fit at Newcastle?
Yeah, I mean, he's not really done it, is it, at Chelsea? When they first signed him, I thought it was a great signing. I thought this is, he's going to fly in the Premier League, but it hasn't really worked out for him at the moment. But sometimes you just need that little bit of luck along the way. You need that first few goals, and then you get your confidence and your belief up. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what he does. But if they do get rid of him and he goes to Newcastle, they've got to replace him. And there's not a lot of strikers out there to replace him with. Who is out there?
No.
Lewandowski was the one that I thought he might go to Chelsea, but now he's picked Barcelona. So it's all right letting players go, but you've got to go in and say, well, wait a minute, we've got a replacement, then we can let him go. So Chelsea have got a lot of work to do in this transfer window to see what sort of squad they've got, if they're going to try and get close to Liverpool, Man City.
Why has he struggled, Al? His record at Leipzig, 78 in 127.
Finishing hasn't been great, is it?
He's had lots of chances. Woeful at times.
Lots of chances.
It's, exactly, Ray, spot on. It's when you're a centre forward, I was talking to Dino about it. Confidence is everything. Look at Lukaku, the goals he scored in Italy. Came over here, missed a couple, people get on his back, and he just, bang, it drains away.
I think there's a lot more pressure in the Premier League as well, isn't there? All the eyes are on it, and if you're not starting, people start questioning you, and no doubt about it, everybody looks at papers and they see negative thoughts about yourself, and then if you're not that strong character, that can affect you. And maybe he's not that strong as a character to handle the pressure.
But in terms of centre forwards, you're right, Ray. There's a limited amount of real top class. Maybe you have to look South America again and look for someone there. Yeah,
well, that's the big question. Haaland was the big one, wasn't he? And he's gone to City.
Lewandowski could
it'd be interesting to see what he does at Liverpool next season as well.
Sam, any other big stories?
Yeah, no, just there's a good piece also in the Sun this morning, just going back to Manchester United. Will Pugh in the Sun, Christian Eriksen has not joined Manchester United just for the prestige or one last payday. The Danish playmaker is determined to play a big part in Erik Ten Hag's Old Trafford plans. Do you see him, Ray, being in the first team for Manchester United, or do you think with Bruno Fernandes there, he'll sort of have to play second fiddle to him, sort of in that role behind the striker?
I think he'll start. Why would you buy him? Why would you bring him in? And we spoke the other day about the Scholes of this era, of the United era, the Beckhams, the passing. Scholes with.
Where would he play, though, Al? Would he play? Because Fernandes is sort of a player that's very similar, isn't he?
Yeah.
Would he play deeper?
But I think probably just get off the back four and spray a few balls about,
So he might play McTominay or Fred.
McTominay's more of a holder. Fred, I'm not a lover of Fred. I think he's a good player, but United need better than good to get in amongst the top three. They need better than good. And you have to say, Christian at his best, would have been in there, but is that gone now? So it'll be interesting to see, does he start the season or is he going to be a squad player that can play in certain games?
It's just amazing he's still playing, isn't it? What he went through.
That's a miracle, by the way.
To come back to play for Brentford and what he done there, and he was brilliant at Brentford. So, we all know he's a quality player from his Spurs days, and so if he can do that at Old Trafford, I'm sure they've got a good player on their hands.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Alan Brazil. Thursday and Friday morning, 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.